All right, up next for video number 2, we are doing the AFC West because I decided that's what I want to do second. So that's what we're doing second. So for the games week 1, we got the Chiefs and Chargers playing on Friday. They're playing Friday on the YouTube game. Chiefs at Chargers. That should be a pretty good game, I would say. You know, the over under 46.5, Chiefs minus 3.5. Yeah. That'll be a fun game. That will be a fun game. And then at noon, you have, like we discussed in video 1, you got Raiders at Patriots at noon. And then the other divisional game is Tennessee going to Denver at 3:05. That is one of the 3 o'clock games. So, projecting coming out of this from the sportsbook angle, we got the Chiefs winning with 11.5 wins. And then both the Chargers and Broncos making the playoffs with 9.5. That is the projection coming out of this. And I do have, like I said, $40 on the Chargers to go over. I was able to get that at plus 105, so I will get $82 back. Just $2 extra, but I will get all of my money back and then a little bit. And those are the kind of bets that I look for when it comes to futures. That's why I only make a couple. I don't go crazy when it comes to future betting. Do not, well, I try not to anyway. Everybody goes a little crazy. But if it is your first time watching, my big intro is at the beginning of the East. And you can go watch that if you have not yet. That would be awesome. Well, we are going to start off here with the Broncos. Broncos are up first. Like I said, they are projected at 9.5 wins. I think they will probably go over that pretty easily. They made a lot of very impactful additions. They spent a shit ton of money this offseason. I expect them to do extremely well. We'll take a look at their schedule. Their schedule might just be that rough that it's only down at 9.5 and not 10.5. Because I would have expected a 10.5, if I'm being completely honest. But they only have it at 9. So first up, we'll take a look at their depth chart. We got Bo Nix starting, J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey. Great pickup in the draft. Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims looks like he's got a little bit of a thing, but if Perna's not worried, I'm not worried. So, and they apparently like Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant enough that they traded away. What's his face? The one they just sent. Vaughn Bailey. They just traded him just last week, so they must think they've got a lot coming out with these kids. So I'm kind of excited to see them play. I want to see them play a full game, maybe a couple games. Apparently, they're gelling really well, so I want to see what Bo Nix can do with them. But that might end up being the tiebreaker for me when it comes to a couple of these games. When we get into the thing, might just be the Bo Nix and Troy Franklin connection. Because if I remember correctly, Troy Franklin is also from Oregon. Yeah, they've been together a while. They played together at Oregon, and they're back together here. And he is now going to be coming out of the slot, which is awesome because that's his body style. So Really nice to see. We'll see how well that connection ends up working. I would expect it to work pretty well. Troy Franklin might be a sneaky late round fantasy pick. I will definitely be keeping an eye out to see if anybody gobbles him up. I might grab him later in the round, maybe like second to last. Troy Franklin, Cortland Sutton. I have to see what other people do, but Evan Ingram is one of their offseason pickups. He is new tight end. He is going to be also a really good idea for fantasy. There's not a lot of good tight ends that are pure pass catchers, and Evan Ingram is a pure pass catcher. That is what that man does. And in a oh God. It's been a long day, guys. Oh my God. Sean Payton, God damn it. I'm not cutting that out. Sean Payton loves to go through a tight end. You saw it with Drew Brees, and Evan Ingram is a very good pass-catching tight end. I would expect him to get a lot of play. That will be another really good fantasy pickup. Really good fantasy pickup. They have a pretty decent line. They spent a lot of money on it. It should be decent. Offense or defensive side, they also spent a pretty decent amount of money. They got Zach Allen back on an extension. I'm not sure if Benito got an extension yet, but I heard they were working on one, so he'll probably get one soon. They signed Dre Greenlaw. They signed Hufanga. They spent a lot of money on those guys. Over the last couple of years, they have basically pilfered the 49ers team for a lot of starters. A lot of starters have gone from the 49ers to the Denver Broncos. Mike McGlinchey, Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw. Pretty decent amount of high-priced talent from the 49ers on the Denver Broncos this year. And honestly, they're all worth the price. They're all pretty phenomenal players. Their defense should be pretty damn good. Their offense should be pretty good. Let's take a look at the schedule and how bad this is. Let's see. Looks like 2 wins right out of the gate. They got Tennessee at Sunday at 3, like we said. And then week 2, they got Indy Sunday at 3. So that's 2-0. They'll probably split with Harbaugh. Yeah, I'd say they split with the Chargers. So we'll say they lose the first one at Los Angeles. So we're 2-1. They're home against Cincinnati for Monday Night Football. I think that bodes well for the Broncos being at home. And the fact that the Cincinnati defense can't stop a wet paper bag anyway. We're going to go ahead and give them the win there. Because, spoiler alert, I don't think Cincinnati makes the playoffs this year. Spoiler. Although, Sportsbook says they do. I don't. I think they're going to score 700 points and still have a point differential of like minus 10. That's nothing against Joe Burrow. He's going to score 1 million points, but their defense is literally not going to stop anybody. Trey Hendrickson's going to like put a little bit of a damper on it, but it's not going to be enough. I'm really happy they were able to sign him, but that's not going to be enough to save him. That defense is bad. They were bad last year with him. They're going to be bad this year with him. They didn't do anything to help him. Like, they got a draft pick. That was it. They let other people walk. They cut other people. Like, I'm not very confident in Cincinnati this year. And then they also fired Lou Anarumo, who was a very good defensive coach 2 seasons ago. Like, they were talking about he might get a head coaching job 2 years ago, and now he's fired. So, okay, he was the problem. Okay, So we're gonna give them the win there. Broncos the win. So that moves them to 3-1, and then they go up against at Philadelphia. Ouch! You're gonna lose at Philadelphia. And then they are home against New York. It's 3-1, 3-2, 4-2. Another New York 5-2. Dallas 6-2. Nice big homestand there. Nice big clump of wins. That's nice. Very nice. Gonna like that for Denver. Pern's gonna be extremely happy in October. That'll be nice. At Houston, say they lose. 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2, 6-3, 7-3, 8-3, 8-4, 8-5, 9-5, 10-5. Shit, they already the over. 10-6. 11-6. 11-6 for the Broncos? Hey. Let me just double check my math here real quick, because that's congratulations. Six and 3, 7-3, 8-3, 8-4, 8-5, 9-5, 10-5, 2-6, 11-6. Yeah. Okay, that's my projection. 11-6 for the Broncos. All righty. On to the Chargers. This is my bet. I do have them. $40, like I said, over 9.5 wins. So let's get into the Chargers, who are going to wreck shop this year. Depth chart. Wow, I know losing Rashawn Slater hurts. Joe Alt is capable of playing the left side, and I don't think that is a loss. Now, is Trey Pipkins a downgrade on the right side? Absolutely. He's a very big downgrade from Joe Alt. But is Trey Pipkins a passable right tackle? Yes, he is. So, Trey Pipkins is not a rookie. He's been around in the league. He has played on the Chargers for a couple of years. He has stepped in when needed. He's a solid backup. I think he's solid enough to be able to step in and play. And then you got nice wide receiver room-ish. Then you got Ladd McConkey, which is awesome. You'd like to see a lot more out of Quentin Johnston. Like, I really liked him coming out of TCU. And Man, he's played like troops. Oh, they picked up Will Disley. Will Disley. Right? They claimed him, right? Because he got cut. Maybe I'm just imagining things. I thought I saw that he got released by somebody. I don't know. Maybe I'm just spreading false news. Fake news spreader right here. Fake news. And then their defense does not have a whole lot much, in my opinion. But Harbaugh's going to make them play good, so honestly, I can't wait to get to see them play like a nice full game. So let's get over into the actual schedule, because I mean, aside from Khalil Mack, like there's a whole lot of people that I don't really know on the Chargers. And I still bet them to hit the over because I believe in Jim Harbaugh that much. So, all right, we start off Friday at Kansas, hosting Kansas City on that YouTube game. I think they win. I think they win that one. Sorry, Kansas City fans. And then they're going to win at Las Vegas. And then they win there, 3-0. They're going to win against New York, 4-0. Say they lose to Washington, 4-1, because they're going to win against Miami, win against Indy, win against Minnesota, win against Tennessee. So that's another 4. That brings them to 8-1. Yeah, they're going to win a lot of fucking games this year, guys, because they've got a real fucking easy-ass schedule. And then they got to play Pittsburgh, which they're hosting. So, I mean, they might lose that game, but they're hosting Pittsburgh. So they're probably not. But I'm going to say they lose it right here just to give them another loss to bring them to loss number 3, 8-3, because they're probably going to win against Jacksonville, win against Las Vegas. Because as much as I like Pete Carroll, I don't think in their first year they're going to be able to do much against the Chargers in the third year of Harbaugh. And like they are pretty solidified in their belief in the Harbaugh way now, and that's usually where they start. Just like, the first year is pretty, second year is, and third year they're into the stratosphere. So I'll give them that loss now tentatively against Pittsburgh, because like I said, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, those are more wins. That's 13. Yeah, because after Jacksonville, they got their bye, and then they play Las Vegas. Those are both going to be wins. That brings them to 4-1, 8-2, 10-2. We'll say they lose to Philly and Kansas City to split with Kansas City, and that will move them to 10-4. They beat Dallas, beat Houston, and then they lose to Denver at Mile High to finish the season because it doesn't matter. 12-5. 12-5 for the Chargers. Yeah, well, Sportsbook was betting on them to all make the playoffs, so I'm surprised I got them all winning a lot of games so far. All right. Well, let's try and get this a little bit faster. On to the Chiefs. Look at their depth chart. Honestly, I'm not super stoked on the Chiefs' depth chart, only because their good players are hurt or suspended. Rashee Rice got his suspension. He's gone for 6 games. He'll be gone for 6 games. They have a bunch of defensive players on IR. Norman Lott, Drew Twinkle, both questionable. Cochran's questionable. Hollywood Brown's questionable. Jalen Royals questionable. Looks like their O-line is solid, which is good. Kelsey has looked pretty good. I'm sure you've heard by now. He's engaged. Whoop-de-doo. Don't really give a shit about that. Yay, he's engaged to Taylor. Okay. Does that mean he's done after this year? Because that's what I really want to know. Does that mean he's retiring after this year? Is it like set in stone now because of that? That's what I want to know. That's what I need to know. Just saying. I need to know that. But still got Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, Nick Bolton, Leo Chanel, Trent Duffy. Yeah. Got Shamari Connor. Yeah, they got a pretty decent defense. And Patrick Mahomes, so probably going to win them a lot of games. Let's see, though. Oh, my God, they got a juggernaut of a season, though. All right, open up against Los Angeles. I gave them a loss there. They will probably lose to Philadelphia. Sorry. They will beat the Giants, though, so 1-2. They'll probably lose. No, they're hosting Baltimore. Ooh. Week 4 against Baltimore. That's going to be a fun fucking game. Week 4 at hosting Baltimore. So it's at fucking GEHA or whatever, fucking Arrowhead. It's at Arrowhead. Oh. It's not a must-have, so I'll say they lose for now, but that's a gimme game. That is definitely a gimme game, and that is why it's $215 for friggin' low-end tickets for that game. Fucking insane. All right, up next we got at Jacksonville, win 2-3 versus Detroit, win. Low key. Detroit's not going to have a great season. Versus Las Vegas. At home, I say they win. I think they'll split. I don't think they're going to need it at the last game of the season, so that's when the Raiders are going to win out. With split for that one. But 1-3, 4-3, home against Washington. 5-3 at Buffalo, 5-4 at Denver, 5-5. Ooh. Versus Indianapolis, 6-5 at Dallas, 7-5 versus Houston, 8-5 versus Los Angeles Chargers, 9-5. At Tennessee, 10-5 versus the Broncos, 11-5, and the last one doesn't matter. They finished with 11 wins because the Chargers are already going to win the division. They'll have 11 wins. 11 wins for me. Maybe 12 if they end up playing the last week, but I think they're going to just coast into the playoffs in the wild card. Like, they'll have a chance to go up against to take it from the Chargers, but I don't know. I think they split with the Chargers, and I think the Chargers will have a tiebreaker. So I think they'll end up just coasting in with 11-6. And then the Raiders are up next and last. One of the few teams that I could not find a non-outlined one. Sorry, nothing I can do. Nothing I can do. All right, we look at the depth chart. Now, honestly, I am pretty bullish on the Raiders making it to at least 7 wins. Ashton Genty will be a workhorse bell cow. They also have Raheem Mostert for a really nice change of pace because he's extremely fast. Even though he is up there in age, he is still a very fast guy. They just signed Amari Cooper. It does not sound like they're trading Jacoby Myers, but they still might before the season starts. We'll see how that goes. They have 2 exceptional tight ends in Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer, and they have a pretty decent O-line. So Geno Smith and a Pete Carroll designed offense with Ashton Genty to run behind him, they should generate some pretty decent yardage, should have a pretty decent season. I don't know why the projection is so low, but we'll get into that after we take a look over here at the defense. We got Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson, both on the same side. They also got Jermaine Pratt, Devin White, there's Jimmy Chin. Yeah, no, I mean, I think this is, like, don't get me wrong, like, they're not star-studded or anything, but they do have Max fucking Crosby. Like, Max Crosby can fucking take over a game for the whole fucking game. Let's get into the schedule. Let's see what's going on with it. So they will open up, like I said, at New England, week 1, at noon. And I'm pretty sure I gave New England the win. So we'll give them the loss. We'll give them a loss at the Chargers. We'll give them a loss at Washington. We'll give them a loss versus the Bears. Oop, that's 4. That's 0-4. Oop, they're going to bounce back with 2 wins against Indy and Tennessee, though. So 2-4. At Kansas City, they're going to lose. So 2-5. Versus Jacksonville, 3-5. At Denver, 3-6. Dallas and Cleveland at home, 5-6. At Los Angeles, 5-7. At Los Angeles, 5-7. Versus Denver, 6-7. At Philly, no, versus Denver, 5-8. At Philly, 5-9. 5-10. And then I think they finish on a win streak against both New York and Kansas City, like I said, because I don't think Kansas City's going to be playing anybody last week because it's not going to matter for them. So I think I can safely say 7. I'll say 7. That means the only team to not hit their win total in the West would be the Chiefs. when we're done, we're going to tabulate all of this and see how many wins I got over how many actual games there are, because that's something that I'm actually kind of curious about, because this is my first year doing this, like, and actually like writing it all out and doing it like this. So yeah, that is 2 of the divisions down for the AFC. 2 more to go today. They will all be released over the course of tomorrow, Saturday. All of the NFC will be released over the course of Sunday. They will all be recorded today on Friday. All right, that is it for this one. I will see you in the next one. Up next, we're probably going to do the abysmal ass South, and then we'll finish up with the North for the AFC. So I'll see you in the next one.